What's going on, maniacs? Welcome to the Manga Madhouse, a channel where I, Darian, take you through my manga collection journey. We have an amazing community of manga lovers, so if that interests you, make sure you go ahead and hit that subscribe button down below. First things first, I would like to say rest in peace to Akira Toriyama. If you're not familiar with him, he is the creator of the Dragon Ball universe, so whether you believe Dragon Ball is one of the best things to ever happen to manga/anime, or if you're someone who just, maybe it's not your favorite, but you completely understand and have respect for what is done for the community, for the medium itself. Either way, you have to pay respect to the legend. So that's how I want to start off the video. And of course, I have the shirt to go with that. But if you cannot tell by the thumbnail title of this video, in today's video, we're going to be talking about our giant manga deluxe editions worth it. So I have a few here. A couple of these I literally just bought for the sake of this video. They were things I wanted anyway, but I got them. Well, I went ahead and got them for the sake of the video. So what we're going to do is, some of these are still in the plastic. So I don't know if you can tell, but like this Vinland Saga one, which was in my last manga haul, is still in the plastic. So what we're going to do, and as you can see, my setup's a little different. So hopefully this is going to be a lot of new things happening in this video, but we're just going to talk about and kind of look through how these books are kind of put together and decide whether or not it's even worth it to collect, because I know that's a big thing to talk about. Is, okay, yes, they look nice, of course, but does it fit the price tag? Because for some of these, you can get 5 single volumes for the price of 1. Some of these you might can get like 6. So we're just going to see, is it even worth it? And is it something you should consider getting, especially if you're new into the manga space, similar to I am, even though I'm coming up on my like 1-year anniversary. I'm still new to the manga space. So that's kind of who I'm trying to look out for, is just say, hey, yes, it looks nice, but do you need to be pressed on, oh, I can't get it, or I can't read it until I can get that? We're just going to figure out and see. Ultimately, it comes down to a preference, but I do feel like it would just help for you to kind of get an idea of how these manga deluxe editions are put together. So without further ado, I'm going to switch the camera angle, and we're going to be at this table here, opening these up and just looking through them. So let's go ahead and do that. Okay, so here we are with Makoto Yukimura, Vinland Saga Deluxe Edition, Book 1. Like I said, I'm going to be going over all the basically deluxe editions that I have, and just kind of trying to understand, are these even worth to get? I kind of have like an answer already, but I do want to actually just explain you kind of through my process as we kind of look and see, do you feel the same after seeing this? And just me kind of explaining the texture. But as you can see, it's still wrapped in the plastic. And then it has all these things about, Vinland Saga as a whole, and then also just more about these oversized collection editions. I don't know if you can see, but basically it says that it includes volumes 1 through 3 of the Japanese edition of Vinland Saga, and as well as additional bonus content. So I'm pretty sure you can see that and say, yeah, I would be, willing, depending on the series, I would be willing to get the deluxe editions. But still, let's go ahead and open it up. So this has never been opened before, so let's go ahead and do that. All right, that should be enough. And I'm really excited because I like deluxe editions, so that's why I don't want to be too biased, but I just kind of just want to take you through the process of just what I'm seeing and how it feels and how it looks, and then kind of have you decide as well, as best as you can, obviously, because it's not like you're able to be here and touch it physically, but still, I would just like your opinions just based on things we're talking about. But yeah, this is the little sheet that comes with it. I think Berserk came with something like that as well, and then the spoiler alert, but I have Helsing as well, and I think it comes with one. So off initial touch, this is just really good quality. That's the thing I think I really like about most deluxe editions, is that they just feel quality, and and then you have the map here, which obviously may not be, and then you have this color, like it's just additional content. I think they know what they're doing. I'm trying to make sure I get this right for y'all, but yeah, I feel it as though the publishers just know what they're doing. And they know how, they want to capture people. They know what brings people in. I mean, you can see just the intricate details, like as far as these lines down here, and then like I don't want to misspeak, but like the Nordic language, I guess. I could be wrong, so I actually don't even want to say that. And then you see the Kodansha symbol, but they just know what is going to bring. Then you see the map on this side, and then I won't show you too much because I do know that there are sometimes that can be a problem on YouTube. But as of right now, based on this first one, Vinland Saga, I do feel like it's a great quality, and here I am trying to make sure it's straight for y'all. But I feel like this is great quality. I mean, you can feel like the designs on here. It's something that if you're really into Vinland Saga, and maybe even if you're not, I can just say based on texture alone or based on just how this feels physically, the physical copy, I feel as though this may just be worth your money. You can see this for different prices in different places, so I'm not going to sit here and try to guess how much it costs, because I know like a place in Barnes and Noble is probably like $50, but then if you were to go to the Crunchyroll store, it's maybe like 40, 35, something like that. So, and that's depending on what kind of membership you have. Because I want to say, I want to think that Crunchyroll offers an additional 10% off for a certain membership, but I'm not quite, I don't want to say that and not be sure, but I'll definitely double check. But yeah, just very, very quality here. The pages feel very quality. I mean, we know the contents of it. Like I said, I'm not going to show too much, but it just feels very quality. From what I'm looking at, when I'm looking at the panels and looking at the art, it does not, show that a little bit. It does not take away from the manga itself. So I feel as though, you know, sometimes you may be like, oh, well, look at his spine. His spine's just going to look great on any shelf. But I feel like sometimes you think of, with oversized books, how much of the content, like, even though some people may get deluxe editions just to kind of have on the shelf, especially, you know, as a collector, but you may wonder like, okay, what are the content actually going to look like? Is it worth even reading? That's kind of where it's just the sheer size of it. Maybe it may not feel the most conventional to read, but I mean, as a collector, and I feel like I'm going to say this about all of them, but as a collector, I do feel as though you're going to want it. You're going to want the best version of something you know already have. And I'm not saying that the panels are, you know, blown out of proportion or the art looks crazy. The art actually looks fantastic. I think they did a really good job of pressing the art in here. But it's just more so, is it really comfortable to sit here and hold this book and read? I don't know. Obviously, you know, depending on how you read may play a part in that. If you're someone that likes to lie in bed and read, maybe it's different from someone if, you know, you like to sit up and read or read at a desk or something like that. It just may be a little different. So off first rip, or off initial thing, I would say this Vinland Saga specifically, it's just fantastic quality. And if you're a collector and you already are interested in Vinland Saga, I would get it. I think I could just getting it. If you're already interested in the series, of course, the price point is what's going to be really difficult for you to, you know, think about, especially if you're someone who's not in the series. But if you're already into the series or want to get into the series, but you're more of a collector, and you're not just getting stuff you like, but you're actually just want to collect manga. And I'm not saying get stuff you don't like. That's the whole point of a collection, is to get stuff you like. But if you just want to get it and read and kind of forget about it and not really display it, then I think you're fine with the original Vinland Saga, which I don't have because I knew these were coming out, so I didn't want to get them. But if you're someone who really wants to display it on your shelf, wants to read Vinland Saga, and wants to kind of show off in your collection, I suggest getting it. Next is Hellsing. So I've seen a lot about Hellsing. I have not personally read Hellsing. So I'm going to read this. This is going to be my first introduction to Hellsing. And I really only got this for the video. I've been thinking about getting it for a while anyway. So that's why I only got volume 1. And as you see, it's still in the plastic. I don't know if you can tell, but it's still in the plastic. And with Hellsing, it does seem as though it's very close to Berserk, and I know that they're, you know, released by the same people. They're both published by Dark Horse. So we'll see how much of a difference that's made, and I will bring in Berserk so we can see that, because as you know, I have the first, I think, 3 volumes of Berserk. I really need to get the 4th, I believe, because someone told me that the first arc is covered in the first 4 volumes. So once I get that 4th volume, what I'm going to do is then, you know, catch up and actually start reading it, because I do want to go ahead and get into Berserk. But see, as you see, it has the slip as well. Comes with that. This is not something you would want to collect, I'm sure, but it's just nice to have, and it kind of tells you about the Hellsing itself, and then just kind of just some additional words there. But like I said, the quality in this one, to me, does not feel as... Now, I'm not comparing it to the Vinland Saga, and let's just go ahead and grab Berserk, but I'm not comparing it to Vinland Saga because I feel as though Vinland Saga is special. That type of... like this, just the creation of it and how it feels, this is special. This is different. I don't think there's anything I'm going to show you today that is going to resemble how just quality this is. And I will say it does, kind of depend on preference. But as far as just trying to be objective as possible, this is just super, super quality. It's not to say that Hellsing is not quality, but to me, it just does not feel as quality and maybe even as sturdy as Berserk. Now, I will say that maybe it's almost like the scales on Berserk that makes it feel a little more quality. I don't know, but to me, Berserk feels a little more quality. I will say, as crazy as it sounds, Hellsing feels more of a book. I know that one thing is it's supposed to look like a satanic Bible and whatnot, mentioned in the cross. And obviously you can tell, seeing them side by side, you can tell that they're kind of published by Dark Horse, or published by the same, company. But what I really like about Hellsing, like I said, it does feel like a book. It feels like, and like I said, they're going for the satanic Bible feel and satanic Bible look. It feels as though it is a Bible or a book of, it just feels like a book of importance, if that makes any sense. Berserk to me feels more of like a collector's item, just based on quality. And then of course the art in here is not. It's not. I don't think the art is disturbed in any of these I'm going to show you today. There's one more I have that I have not opened, and I don't know what the art in that's going to look like. And I do have the original. I wouldn't say the original version, but a different version of that. So maybe we could compare the two. But yeah, and this is not really to sit here and compare necessarily and say, oh, we should get Berserk or which one feels better. It's just more so we're just trying to see the different variations of these deluxe volumes. So it's not really necessarily comparing the two to say one's not good and the other is. It's just more so how do they feel. So see, Berserk, it's somewhat kind of plain on the spine. So it looks good just because I feel like the color is what sells it. Other than that, it is a pretty plain spine, but the color kind of gives it away. I think I like how they kind of displayed it on the spine here. But when you look at Hellsing, this spine, to me, it's a little more capturing. There's a little bit more going on. This leathery feel right here, it kind of makes me a little nervous right there because as you see, it's this particular one is bubbling. I don't know if you can tell, but it's kind of like bubbling right here. And I'm not going to sit here and say that's for all of them. I'll only have volume 1. But as you can tell, Berserk, the way it's kind of made, it does not have that. It's never going to have that bubbling because it doesn't have that necessarily the same type of leather feel to it. But with Hellsing, it just seems like a lot more going on. Part of it is the way, this is designed because on Berserk, it just says Berserk and it's not even in some special way. But then it has the cross, and then this even looks kind of better because if you compare the two, it just looks a little different. Just a little more presentation on this one compared to Berserk. And then the backs, there's really nothing on the back for either. But for Hellsing, just open it up because this is my first time. Pages actually feel really quality. I'm not and I'm trying not to show because like I said, they do have I know sometimes YouTube and stuff can get copyrighted, but the pages feel extremely quality. And it's not to say Berserk pages don't feel quality. They feel just as quality. So yeah, we're so far, I think, like I said, it's really just going to depend on how much of a fan you are of a series. And it depends on what type of collector you are. So if you want to be, and while this is a colossal edition and not a deluxe edition, we'll still talk about it. But it's just depending, and that's kind of where I'm at right now. It's just going to depend on what you're collecting for. I know that may feel like a cop-out answer, and I am going to say it again in this video, but it just depends on what you're collecting for. If you are collecting because you just want to grab books that you like to read and then just show more so people, hey, this is what I'm reading, or this is what I've read, maybe I would suggest staying away from the deluxe editions. Now, granted, if you're buying a bunch of singles, because I know the Hellsing singles are pretty nice. If you're buying, and we'll just bring Hellsing back just because we're kind of still talking about it. But if you are buying Hellsing and you really just want to read it and just say, hey, I've read it, I have the series as a whole, and you're more thinking about conventional reading, then I would suggest the singles. If you are someone who maybe enjoy Hellsing, Really want to show it off. Really want, since this is available, it's one of your favorite series. You are a reader, of course, but you're also a vivid collector, as in you understand like what it means to maintain your collection, and you're probably someone who maybe worry about your shelf space and organize your shelves and just how things look on your shelves. I think this is for you, and that goes for Berserk as well. But obviously, I'm just talking about Hellsing right now, so that's just kind of where I'm going to stand on that. Now, the Attack on Titan Colossal Edition, like I said, it's not a deluxe edition, but it's a Colossal Edition. This is probably the worst one. It's not, and it's the art in it's fantastic. I don't think it loses anything in the art, but it's just not quality. It's just not quality. The paper almost feels like a little construction paper. It doesn't even feel like it's like very sturdy. Feels like it can bend and break easy. A little flimsy because it's not hardback like the previous ones were, and I mean that's really kind of just it. Like I said, artwork looks good. The spine is better, but I honestly all of and I'm trying to show this as best I can, but I can't really tell what's best for y'all. I think Attack on Titan has some of the, off the top of my head, has some of the worst spines. Like, so the reason I didn't get the singles, I do not like that. Like, what's it called? The single spine, like it's like brown tannish. Don't really care for that. And then on the omnibuses, it's a little better, but I try as if I can. I try to stay away from omnibuses because I'm just not the biggest fan of them. I mean, people have mentioned that sometimes the quality is poor. And speaking of conventional reading, it's not the best, easy read because sometimes the book's a little too thick. And I know that sounds crazy as someone who's showing you these deluxe editions, but at least the quality of these is just a lot better than what we get with some of the omnibuses. And that's not saying anything about Dark Horse particularly or Viz or anything like that. It's just the honesty of it. And Kodansha did this one as well, which is crazy because, like I said, they did Vinland Saga, so it just could be a little better. With Attack on Titan being what Attack on Titan is for the manga and anime community, it could have been a little better. Now that the series is over, we'll probably maybe see more. They're probably going to release something else. I think with the sale of Vinland Saga, Kodansha is going to come back and see this and be like, maybe we could do a little better. And it just says Kodansha Comics. The Vinland Saga just says Kodansha. So I may not be, the right person to tell you. There may be a very distinct difference. But Kodansha, it's just, I think they could have did better with this one. That's all I'm going to say. I think they could have did better with this one. It's flimsy. And I say this in general. This looks better than what the others are. But it's still not as quality as we're seeing what we've seen with Vinland Saga, Berserk, and Hellsing. And by far right now, Vinland Saga is the best. So let me grab this real quick off camera. But next we have another new one that I got, and that is Blade of the Immortal. So this is also published by Dark Horse, and it very much resembles Dark Horse. The only thing I don't like about Blade of the Immortal is still this whole left to right thing. And obviously I know that's how we read in America, but I forgot the story behind it. I think the creator just didn't want to, he just flipped the panels or something, if I'm not mistaken. I really wish I could remember the story, but basically this whole left to right thing, it bothers me. Only because it's different from the rest. Of course, everything else is right to left, so this one being the only one different is a little frustrating, but this is the regular omnibus. As you see, Omnibus 1. Now, one thing that I actually had a tough time trying to decide is, first of all, as you know, I'm a huge fan of everything samurai. I try to get everything samurai, whether good, bad, I want to collect it. I know people have like goals, whether they're meaningful goals or goals that don't make too much sense. That's just their goal. That's your personal goal. You do what you want. My personal goal would be collecting most things samurai. I don't think I'm ever going to turn down anything samurai. But the spines on these, and when you see them all together, is really nice. This is a nice spine. And so it was really difficult because it was, how do I make that decision? Because as you see, and there's different colors for these right here. But you can't turn down a good deluxe edition. I mean, this is still in plastic, as you can tell. It has a little paper on the back, as we talked about. With really the rest of them is also the prices can get crazy on here. I don't know how many of the this is 1 to 3. So it collects volumes 1 to 3 of the original 7x10 serialized format in faux leather hardcover treatment and with a bookmark ribbon, which all of them came with that, except Attack on Titan, which is why still Attack on Titan's the worst. But we're gonna go ahead and get this open so I can fill the pages and just let you know. But yeah, really, it's just, almost cut myself, the usual. But really, like I said, it's all just going to depend on how you want to collect. And there's nothing wrong with that. It don't feel as though you have to be, if you're someone who just enjoys reading and you really just, it's more about the book and the story within the book than the actual presentation of the book. Don't feel like you have to go get it just because you see all these people on YouTube, me included, get these expensive, because they add up. Like Berserk, it's $50 each one, and there's like 14 of them. Hellsing, I don't know how many there are, and I don't know how many of Vinland Sagas go, but they're expensive. Do not feel like you have to get it. Blade of Immortal, I know there's a lot. So yeah, that would just kind of would be my advice. Is just it's just understand how you plan. And this feels really good. This feels really solid. This feels This is probably on the level of, when it comes to sturdiness, it feels like Berserk. It feels like Berserk as far as just like the actual texture, but as sturdiness and just how firm it is, and like, do I believe that like this will mess up anytime soon if I just take decent care of it? It feels on Vinland Saga level. It's very sturdy, very just, it has a nice feel to it, and it doesn't feel as like soft as Hellsing and Berserk did. It's on Vinland Saga's level. The actual touch of it feels like Berserk, but like the quality of it as far as sturdiness is very much on Vinland Saga level. So that's good. But yeah, don't feel like you have to do anything that you see. Don't feel pressured into it. Just understand what type of collector you are and follow that. Follow that mentality. But yeah, I mean, the pages on here, they're quality. I'm not gonna say they're not, but it's not as like pristine and just clean. Like Hellsing and Berserk, they felt clean. I mean, in Vinland Saga too, but it's not published by the same person. Dark Horse published this as well, so that's why I'm comparing it to Hellsing and Berserk. It feels good. It doesn't feel wrong. It feels on the lines of like maybe the Attack on Titan, because I think that, oh no, it doesn't actually. It doesn't actually. It feels good. Don't get me wrong. It feels great. But it does not feel as just clean as Berserk and Hellsing. That's what I'll say on that. So anyway, sorry for this video. I don't know if it's going to be long. I don't know if it's going to be short. But in reality, I just wanted to talk to you about just different, are these just deluxe editions worth it? And I know I've said it, and I probably said it 4 times, and you probably hear me saying it's really just going to depend on what type of creator you are, or collector you are. I'm sorry. Like I said, you either want to have series like this and just you want to show it off on the shelf, and some people may even read it somewhere else. You may read it in the singles, you may read it online, but you want to have this on the shelf and just kind of show off and show off like how this looks on your shelf. These deluxe editions are for you. If you just are more focused into the story and just kind of just want to show people I read this, or I plan to read it, or I'm interested in it, and they can kind of easily pull it off the shelf and look through it and look at it. These, and you know, some of these are in singles, but like get the quote unquote lesser version or regular version or omnibus, whatever you want to say, get that. Because that's going to be more so for the people who I really just want to get to the book. How it really looks doesn't matter to me. How it's displayed doesn't really matter to me. I care about what's on the inside more than anything. Of course, who doesn't love a good cover, a good spine? But in reality of like who wants to just pay attention to really what's inside, and everything else kind of comes second. It's more about the having the book itself than not having it at all. I suggest this. I don't think there's no reason for you to get the deluxe editions if you're just solely focused on the book itself, the story itself, having that story in your collection. If that's what you're interested in, I don't suggest getting. I wouldn't get the deluxe editions for anything, any of these. Attack on Titan, Vinland Saga, none of them. But anyway, thank you so much for watching the video. Hopefully this video will be coming out tomorrow as I'm recording this Saturday night. I was going to record it Friday night, but it kind of got away from me. As you know, new angles, so I set it up, and then it took so much time setting up that I didn't feel like recording. And I never want to record when I don't feel like recording, because of course, what would that video do for you? But anyway, thank you so much for watching any second of any video. As you saw in my last video about the weekly update, if you continue to subscribe, that Discord will come out. You will see that Discord soon. It's going to come out as soon as we hit 1,000 subscribers. I've had 2 people look at it, and they both have approved of it. And I think we're ready to get rocking. So get the channel to 1,000 subscribers. It's going to be out, and then we're going to have a great, just really be able to have a real community of people who enjoy manga, anime, music, everything. So yeah, just thank you so much, and I'll see you guys next time. Peace.